You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Podcast.
Anxiety among homebuyers incredibly high as they vie for unprecedented shortage of homes across much of Washington state. This is one of those podcasts where I do a deep dive on the Northwest Multiple Listing Service statistics for the greater Seattle area. If you are a real estate broker or somebody in real estate, this is that podcast you should pay attention to, because I'm going to give you my feedback as owner of Summit Properties Northwest and owner of Reynolds & Kline Appraisal, real estate brokerage, appraisal company. If you're new here, I'm Sean Reynolds. I'm a managing broker. I'm an owner of an appraisal company. More importantly, your host of this episode of the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. Let's get into it. All right, and this is the stats. This is a 2 or 3 page itemization of comments based on the stats that have come out for month of October in the MLS. And we had some pretty major numbers, some pretty record-breaking numbers. All right, and the stats came out November 5th, 2020. Today is the 6th. Day after. I'm on top of it. I am hopping on this stuff. Usually it takes me a few days to, I'll get to that now. And here we are. Finding and buying a home today is more difficult than at any time in the past 40 years of my career, was how broker Dick Beeson summed up the latest statistics from the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. Agreed. I've been doing this 30 plus years, and there's never been a time where we've had less inventory. So it takes an incredible amount of effort for real estate brokers to get their offer just accepted, not closed, but just foot in the door accepted right now. The Northwest MLS report recapping October activity showed a 40% drop in active listings compared to the same month a year ago, an increase of 16% in pending sales, those are mutually accepted offers, and a year-over-year jump of nearly 30% in closed sales. Median price of single-family homes and condominiums that sold last month was $500,000. That is up 19% from the same period a year ago, according to the MLS summary, which encompasses 23 counties, mostly in western and central Washington. Let's take a quick look at some of those stats. So we had a downward reduction of 40% in active listings. When you had 10 listings, now 4 of those are taken out. A year later, you got 6 to look at. That's what buyers are looking at. And then you've got an increase of 16% last month, increase in pending sales, so mutually accepted offers. So way less inventory, more pending sales going on, and a year-over jump of 30% increase in closed sales. So in October 2020 versus October 1919, 30% more closed sales happened. So you can see how this is going. Fewer homes on the market, active pending sales going up, closed sales going up. We've got just this market that is stripping out all inventory. That's what's happening. And then guess what happens to prices? So many people they go up. That's the answer there. So many people hit me up as the Rona kind of went down. They're like, man, do you think there's going to be fire sales? Are there going to be short sales? Are we going to need to work on our foreclosure activity skill set? And I was kind of like, I don't think so. I think even though the coronavirus is going to hit and it's just going to put a big ding on the market, there's such little inventory and rates are so low and rates are going to get lower that I've been kind of saying all along that this market is just going to kind of keep going. And it has. And it's gone on way stronger than I thought, because some of these market dynamics happened in a really weird response to the coronavirus. We had just some really strange dynamics. As we can continue reading, we'll kind of point out what some of those are, and we'll talk about them. So Beeson, he's the managing broker at RE/MAX. He's the one that made that last comment. He's a managing broker at RE/MAX Northwest in Tacoma Gig Harbor, so down south from Seattle. Said he has never seen so many buyers needing to write multiple offers before securing a home. Interest rates are incredibly low and inventory is incredibly low, and anxiety is incredibly high among buyers, he remarked. Right now, I bet you I spend 2 hours a day talking with brokers. Maybe it's an hour, but multiple phone conversations a day, probably closer to 2, on how Summit Properties Northwest brokers can get their offers accepted in these multiple bid situations where they don't have the highest price, they can't afford the highest price home, they can't afford to let their earnest money go non-refundable, They can't take away their contingencies, meaning they want to know what's wrong with the home. They want to be able to do a building inspection, those types of things. But in this market, you basically just have to close your eyes, write a blind check, and hand it over to the seller and say, fill in that number. That's what I'm willing to pay you. And here's 15 grand in cash to help sweeten that pot. That's basically what you're having to do right now in the Seattle market. And this is not an isolated market. There's lots of other markets across the United States. I was reading about that in Denver. Identical thing happening there. Low inventory, lots of buyers, super low interest rates. It's go time. So sellers are struggling too, Beeson said. They worry they're leaving money on the table by accepting an offer within days of their property coming on the market, he remarked, adding, but brokers know that in this market, if a seller doesn't receive an offer within a short time after the property is listed, the home is most likely overpriced. So anytime I see something that's been on the market 20, 30 days, I immediately think, all right, what's wrong with it? Look at the history of that property. See if it's had a building inspection. Let's see if maybe it flipped based on a building inspection. Read the comments, read the agent-only comments, see what is going on with that property. Because if it's not sold within 7 days or something like that, there's something wrong with it. There's something going on. And that is not a healthy thing to be saying in a real estate market. No, it's not. It means you've got a lack of supply, which is what we've got. MLS members added 10,428 new listings to the supply during the month, improving on the year-ago total of 8,394. So new inventory was up 24% in October 2020 over October of 2019, up 24%. In keeping with the pattern of previous months, October's 11,039 pending sales surpassed the number of new listings. So inventory is coming on stronger over a year ago, but pending sales are just stripping out that inventory. So more buyers than there are properties available. Yet again, the 4-county area of King, which is where Seattle is located, and Bellevue, where I'm podcasting from, King County, Snohomish County, Pierce County, and Kitsap counties broke the record for the month of October for the number of homes going under contract ever, period, in the history. Biggest month ever. That kind of tells you where we're at. And that's from John Lennox Scott. He's chairman and CEO of John L. Scott Real Estate, local real estate brokerage. The MLS reported 7,934 pending sales for the 4-county region. A comparison of October's pending sales dating to 2002 shows the previous high of 7,740 occurred in 2017. And we had a roaring market in 2017. In 2017, throughout 2018, 2019, and early 2020, when we're doing appraisals, we were looking at sales in 2017, pointing at those as the absolute peak of the most recent market. We had one of those kind of spikes, and then things kind of leveled off a little bit. 2017 has been the absolute peak. Now we're saying we are surpassing that now, in the middle of a global pandemic. That's what we're doing. Matthew Gardner, he's the chief economist at Windermere Real Estate, said his biggest concern continues to be the ongoing lack of homes for sale in the central Puget Sound area. Yep, that's mine too. Don't have enough homes for buyers to look at. And when they do find one, they're competing, and it's just this craziness that keeps going on. Keep in mind that a 4-month supply of homes for sale is a sign of a balanced housing market. All right? I'm going to one-up that and go 4 to 6 months is the sign of a normal 4 to 6 months. House goes on the market, 4 to 6 months later, it closes. That is normal. We don't have, and with our absorption rates, we have less than a month on the market of supply for homes for people to look at. So maybe my description of 4 to 6 months, 4 to 6 months is the supply. So if no more homes came on the market for the next 4 to 6 months, you'd still have enough for everybody at the current absorption rate. At the current rate people are buying, you'd have enough for them to look at and be able to purchase. Right now, we have like 3 weeks left, under a month, sold out. That's sold out. So, but in 14 counties, in King, Snohomish, Pierce, there's currently less than a 1 month of supply. That is what is allowing home prices to escalate at double-digit prices. That's what's going on. And a lot of people said, property values are just going to tank, especially in Seattle where all the riots are happening. No, they're actually going up. Whether Boeing's recent announcement of significant layoffs will affect the housing market is being closely watched by industry experts. Here's my take. It will have virtually zero impact because whatever jobs get thrown off by Boeing, they get sucked up in the tech market here. I mean, look at Amazon alone. How many jobs? They've got 25,000 jobs that they're committed to moving just from Seattle to Bellevue alone. They're hiring 100,000 people during the season, holiday season, and a bunch of those people will come on full time. A lot of jobs out there. If you can't find a job in the Seattle area, you are not trying very hard. I've been watching the Snohomish County housing market closely, but as I predicted last month, there's not been any negative fallout so far, Gardner stated. This is based on the Boeing thing. In fact, he continued, compared to a year ago, a number of homes for sale is down and home prices are still rising. A lot of people get worked up about Boeing layoffs. Yes, they're happening. Are they having an impact on the housing market? No. No is the answer there. A solid no, no, no. No means no. Gardner said he maintains his position that any additional inventory that may come to the market will likely be absorbed swiftly as we continue to see buyers moving from the more expensive King County market to the relative affordability that Snohomish County offers. I would add to that, any county outside of King County is going to get pressure right now because King County has gotten so expensive that people are like, you know what? Moving forward, I think we're going to have less traffic. Let's consider getting a house further out. Had this talk with my hairdresser yesterday. She bought a house well outside of Snohomish or Monroe, which are suburban communities here, probably 25, those are 25-minute drive from Bellevue, which is probably, we are right now 9 miles east of downtown Seattle. So not terribly far out, but people are considering going way out past Snohomish and Monroe, which are suburban cities, because they can in the era of the Rona. My concern for people buying way further out who are getting a bigger house on acreage, more bang for their buck, is that when the Rona finally does wear off and people go back to work, those commutes are even worse than before. So you're buying a house further out right now thinking that traffic patterns will remain. They do not. That's not going to go well. People are going to be really upset when they've got a 2-hour commute into work, and that will happen. That's my guess. According to the latest MLS report, the median price single-family home, excluding condos, that sold in Snohomish County last month was about $165,000 less than the figure for King County. So single-family homes was $570, call it $580 in Snohomish County versus $745 in King, and that's the median. So median being middle, half of them are less, half of them are more. Area-wide, the median price for last month's sales of single-family homes, excluding condos, was $515,000. That's a 20.2% jump from a year ago. For single-family homes and condos combined, prices rose by double digits in 21 of the 23 counties in the MLS market area. 21 of the 23 counties, double digits, meaning over 10%. Those are incredible, incredible numbers. We've never seen this kind of run before. The highest median prices for homes and condos that sold last month were in San Juan County at $705,000 and in King County at $685,000. Those two counties also had the highest median prices for single-family homes, excluding condos. San Juan County was $753,000 median, and King County $745,000. So $750,000 is their median housing price. Half below that, half above that. So John Lennox Scott noted the luxury market in the Puget Sound region also had record-breaking sales for the month. Last month, MLS brokers notched 1,004 sales, priced at $1 million or more. So in King, Kitsap, and Snohomish County, you had 1,004 sales over $1 million. The record prior to that was 553, and that was last year in 2019. So you have literally almost doubled the number of homes over $1 million that were sold in a month, and that was for the month of October. So record-breaking numbers on the luxury market, although $1 million just kind of gets you a starter home in Bellevue now. Literally, that's kind of what you're at. So the supply and demand continue to drive the real estate market, observed Dean Rubin. He is a broker and owner at Village Homes and Properties in Woodinville. Record low interest rates have increased purchasing power with mortgage programs such as FHA, the 3.5% down payments, he noted. Also, he said, the availability of funds has allowed record refinancing for purchasing second homes and investment properties. So there's a lot of liquidity in the real estate market right now. You've got a ton of money that is sloshing around. People have equity. People are able to do a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, take that money out, buy that second home, and not even worry about it because interest rates are down so far, and they've got so much equity that the payments they're making, it makes sense. They can do it, and it's not a huge stretch of the budget. With home prices increasing, which Rubin believes indicates strong jobs and lifestyle demand, he said it raises questions about whether our market is underpriced. Highly likely, he suggested, underpriced. So people that asked me in the beginning of the Rona broke out, when do you think prices will drop? Will it be the end of the year? Absolutely not. You don't have the market dynamics for that to take place. And that's what we're experiencing right now is record numbers of appreciation, things not dropping. People thought there was going to be a big drop because we have the Rona. Not the case. That is not happening at all. It's going the other way. It's going up. So brokers in Kitsap County reported a huge pent-up demand. Frank Wilson, he's the Kitsap Regional Manager and Branch Managing Broker at John L. Scott in Poulsbo, and that is west of Seattle. Lack of listings and the extremely low interest rates are two of a growing number of reasons why buyers are looking in our area. He said they're beginning to see flight from larger cities as more and more jobs can be done remotely. See that a lot. I just worry what happens when everybody goes back to downtown and those people are stuck in homes really far out. That's a big commute. You got some people selling their suburban estates. Wilson also reported strong traffic at open houses since the governor announced in early October that limited open houses would be permitted in all counties with strict adherence to occupancy restrictions and other safety guidelines based on the data and the science. That's what we're doing here in Washington. Now that we can hold open houses again, we're seeing anywhere from 5 to 20 small groups coming through with showings often resulting in multiple offers. Wilson stated, adding that it is good to see both brokers and buyers working together, plus the stringent use of masks, social distancing, hand sanitizer, and other tools to ensure safe and healthy showings. You can't replicate the experience of going through a home on video. You can't make an online effort that compares to walking through a home, seeing the floor plan, seeing how you're going to live, having it, the experience for your buyer, being able to smell that home, go through the neighborhood, take a look. So kicking the tires, that's what we're talking about. And so just recently we were able to start having open houses again, and that's been a major help in getting buyers comfortable with the home, whereas before they basically had to send one buyer through with their broker or watch a walkthrough video tour, which are not representative of homes because you can't just get that one-on-one experience. Broker owner Frank Leach at Remax Platinum Services in Silverdale said Kitsap County continues to enjoy brisk activity. That's west of downtown Seattle, but not without the frustration of having historically low inventory. Although new listings are on the rise, they are being stripped from the market at a stunning pace. Buyers are bidding up properties as demand stays steady and inventory continues to dwindle. He attributes part of the surge to buyers east of Kitsap County coming into the market. Northwest MLS data shows that Kitsap is only about 2 weeks, like 14 days of supply, with inventory plummeting more than 41% from a year ago. Keep in mind, anything under 1 month of inventory is sold out. That means at current absorption periods, you are basically sold out at all points of the market. Even under 2 months, that means you've got a handful of homes on the market, but as soon as they hit 7 days later, boom, they're gone, they're pending, moved on, unless, again, they're overpriced or they got a problem with them. So Mike Grady, president and CEO at Coldwell Banker Bain, said October reflected a continuation of the summer market well into autumn and put sellers in a great position. We're seeing buyers snapping up homes almost as fast as they're listed, he commented, adding, with interest rates remaining at record lows and employment in major tech industries very strong, this is a good indication that we may well skip the usual slowing in the winter market altogether. Did a podcast on that yesterday. That is my assertion as well, is that what we're experiencing right now is just a delayed reaction to the normal spring market that we had in March, April, and May. And we only had our market start to pick up that second week of May. That's what happened. And so all of that time period, that 6 weeks has been shifted. Here we are now, a couple of weeks out from Thanksgiving. Guess what we're doing? We are doing spring market type activity. And that's what will carry us, I think, right through Christmas and New Year's. It'll slow down a little bit. It always does. But relative to other Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, holiday periods, I think this one's going to be super, super strong. Ruben said the coming holiday season may present more opportunities for buyers with less competition for new listings. However, given the current sparse inventory and keen competition, broker Frank Leach, a member of the MLS Board of Directors, emphasized buyers must be prepared when entering the marketplace. With funds and financials at the ready, what I would add to that, be willing to make your earnest monies non-refundable. Be willing to basically waive any contingency that you're competing with on another offer. You got to cut loose. You're basically got to be willing to close your eyes, write the sellers a blank check, and have them fill in the number, and that's what you get. You get to buy a house and give over a whole bunch of your money blindly, without knowing the condition of the home, without knowing if you can probably afford it and get financing, all this stuff. That's where we're at. Not healthy for buyers at all. But people are so dying to get a house in today's market. This is what we're doing. All right, condo shoppers are less pressured in some parts of the market because nobody wants a small home during the Rona where they are working, eating, sleeping, teaching their kids school, and exercising, and all the other stuff they would normally do outside that they're not doing. So condo shoppers less pressured in some areas of the market. System-wide inventory is up about 5.4% compared to 12 months ago. So condo inventory, small housing, is up a little bit instead of down, way down 40%. That's aided in part by the addition of 1,589 new listings during the month, a healthy 37.6 year-over-year improvement. At month end, there was about 1.5 months of supply of condos. So we've had difficulty selling condos, let's be honest. The smaller they are, the more difficulty you're going to have because nobody wants to hunker down, especially facing Rona 2.0 shutdown. If we have that again, people are like, oh, I don't want to do that again in my tiny studio. I don't want to do that in my tiny one bedroom. What are we going to do? We're going to not buy a condo is what they're saying. That's what buyers are saying. Pending sales of condos jumped nearly 35%, while area closings nearly doubled from a year ago, rising from 950 transactions to 1,414. Prices were slightly more than 14%. The overall median price on last month's sales was $395,000. In King County, which accounted for nearly 6 of every 10 sales, almost 60%, the median price was $459,000, call it $460,000. These are condo numbers again, which reflects a almost 20% increase from this time a year ago. So we've got more condos on the market, but the ones that are selling, numbers are hot. Things are up. It's what people can afford, and in the Seattle market, that is what's driving up that market as well. All right, so that is it for this month's kind of deep dive on the stats. So trends I'm seeing are multiple offers on anything that is reasonable. You've got 4, 5, 6 offers. Buyers are having to waive their building inspection. Buyers are having to waive their financing addendum, meaning they may need to get financing, but they can't use that as an out to get on the transaction. Earnest money, the bigger earnest money, which is the good faith deposit, the better. Being able to waive at least a portion of that, if not all of that, and make it non-refundable to the seller. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, accept our offer, and here is $15,000 for you to keep. If you accept our offer, that's our good faith. We are willing to go through with this. We are showing you we are real buyers. We really want this property. That is what it's taking, and that's what I'm working with my brokers on across the board multiple times a day right now. So it's a strong seller's market. It's not great for the buyers, but buyers are able to take advantage of historically low interest rates. So that's what you've got going. So buyers are excited to get out there. They're able to finally go through on open houses now. They've got more purchasing power, believe it or not, even with these prices rising, with interest rates the way they are compared to a year ago. They've actually got a little bit more firepower. So you're going to continue to see buyers out there right through the holiday season. Great time to be a buyer, get those low rates. Seller, you're going to make some good money. Your house is going to sell quickly. That's where we're at. That's it for me. So I'm Sean Reynolds, the owner of Summit Properties Northwest, Reynolds and Kline Appraisal. Love to have you subscribe if you found this helpful. I do daily podcasts most of the time, at least 2 a day. Subscribe, like, share the content. Thanks again for joining. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.